wanna get away, but I could use some company. If you're alone like me, we could go on a trip. Girl, I wanna see the sun, dive into the deep ocean, dance with you all night long, move as you swing your hips. Let's take a break from the stress and the hate.
Hey. Welcome to Mindset Monday. My name is Ilyasa Simpson, aka Coach Illy. I am super excited to be here tonight because we're going to talk about one of my favorite subjects, and that is love. Love comes in so many ways, shapes, fashions, and forms. But love comes from the heart. It should come from the heart. And it should be genuine, right? Love should come from the heart and should be genuine. However, love of what people think is love may come from a place of what we think is love, but it's really not. It comes from ego, and it's ego-based driven. This morning, what I did, as I do just about every morning, I post a post of my thoughts and a reflection of my after prayers, and I share it on Facebook Live. And when I do that, it's coming from my heart. It's coming from my whole heart. It's spiritually grounded, and it's all about sharing love. Now, just a part of me, the person that I am, I'm all about doing better. And this is a part about reflection, giving back, and just doing better. Because what we do is we go through life, and sometimes we mess up. And some people get so caught up in the part that it's not okay to mess up, and they hold it against themselves. They talk negatively about themselves. They treat themselves negatively, and then it goes downhill from there. This is what I like. I like in the charge room, this is my ministry, is to teach people that it's okay to mess up. This is hashtag do better season. We are at ages, we're not children anymore. We are adults that have been through some things. We have had children, some. We have gotten married, some. We have gotten divorced, some. We have been in and out of relationships ongoing without giving ourselves a break, some. But at the end of the day, life inside yourself may not feel so good, and you take it out on yourself, treat yourself in a negative fashion, and think that that's what you're supposed to settle for. That is not the way to live. We got to live to live. We're not to live to struggle. We're not to live to punish ourselves or others. We're not to live to walk around in our own world, in our own selfishness, in our own types of isolations. That is not how we're supposed to live. We're supposed to love. We're supposed to give love. God gives us gifts. He gives us talents. And he gave us the go through. He gave us the wherewithal. Because if you're still here, you're living and you're breathing and you're still here, that means you have something to give. Now, you may not value that. But someone else in your life, whether you come across them or not, of your own merit, strangers can give you something, and you could give a stranger something. And you take that for granted, or some people put themselves in a category, well, I don't know you, so I don't want to know you, and you close yourself off. Closing yourself off can have you miss a blessing, because you never know where your blessing is going to come from. I made a post also last week. Strangers can come into your life and support a dream where your closest friends and family will not even give you the time of day to even respect affect your dream. They put you down in ways that are just unimaginable, that you feel very daunted about yourself, that you can't because they say you can't. But I'm here to tell you today that you can. But also understanding that people love with an ego. And today I'm going to explain it to you and say, stop. Stop. And most of the times when we look at love in a way that is coming from someone that we physically love, that we want to have relations with, someone that we want to be in a relationship with, versus a friend or a family member, a work partner, a church sister or brother. But loving with an ego can be complex, and it's a multifaceted experience. An ego refers to like your self-image and your sense of identity that a person holds, right? They hold it, and often is a driven desire, fear, or need for validation. And when it comes to love, the ego can be an influence on how we approach love, how we approach relationships in a positive or negative fashion. And here's how we can break that thing down. So I'm going to do it backwards. I'm going to do the negative um thought processes first, because that's what people gravitate to first, the negatives, the challenges. So as I was speaking about this morning, it's people will have a sense of insecurity. A strong ego can sometimes mask someone's insecurities that can lead to jealousy, possessiveness, and constant seeking validation from a partner. That's like that attention seeking behavior. In social work, is attention seeking disorder, but I don't want to call it a disorder today. I want to keep it people orientated. So with that, when someone has a sense of insecurity and they're looking for that partner to, always be in good graces with them. And as I explained it this morning, if everything is in a box, your box that you have for yourself, if everyone is operating, in and out that box at the way you want it to be, everything is all good. The moment something does not happen in your fashion with this box that you sit and set up for yourself, all hell breaks loose. All hell breaks loose. Attitudes flare up. People want to argue, fuss, fight. They become numb when it comes to feelings and emotions, and communication is at an all-time low, right? So what happens is that everyone's mad right now. Everyone is angry and no one wants to be bothered. People sucking their teeth and they're like cursing each other out every day, every minute, every hour. And this is what we really don't want. This is operating in ego, because these people that we love, that we put quote unquote our energy and flow of energy into, are not doing what we want them to do. This becomes a possessive type of energy. This becomes a jealousy type of energy. This becomes a need of seeking validation from your partner type of energy. And it could be relentless to a point where it's super annoying. And some people will then call you a stalker for their time, right? Power struggles. Power struggles are also energy driven individuals that find it difficult to compromise or yield in a conflict, leading to power struggles within the relationship. Now, that's when someone always has to have the last word, or don't talk out of turn to them. Don't try to put them down. Don't talk negatively to them. It's a place of being that they must feel superior, right? And they must have control all the time. And that leads also to a lack of communication, block listening, because you begin to hear what you want to hear and then you be who you want to be, right? A lack of empathy. This goes a little narcissistic way, right? So the lack of empathy is an overemphasis on one's own need that can result to reducing someone's capacity for empathy or understanding. That's when someone puts their needs first, and your needs and emotions and feelings mean nothing. They overlook you, they put you to the side, they talk down at you in a negative way or fashion, they disregard you, they are not acting like they care about you, your feelings, or emotions, right? Not only that, they may not even give you the time of day. The attention on your side is down to zero. Or ego, the need to have control. It's a person with a dominant ego that may feel the need to control all situations with themselves and the partners, which could lead to feeling suffocated or resentment, right? So all of these are ego driven behaviors that come into play where people say, I love you, but I love you. And they try to take control or have possession with and without your regard. You don't matter. It's only what they want. You got to stay in their box. The minute you go outside of their parameters of their box, to have a mind of your own, to move on your own, to have your own idea, to have your own feelings, to say, well, I like this versus liking what they like. Oh, I like that too. You don't have to like it too. You can like what you like and they like what they like, and it should be okay. But when that doesn't happen, you have this person that needs to be in control, that has a lack of empathy, that wants to give you a power struggle, who is suffering from insecurity. Now, let's talk about the positive pieces. The positive pieces within having an ego is confidence. When a person is confident within themselves, they will display this type of confidence, and people are attracted to confidence. That is in the form of an ego, but it's a positive piece to an ego. Okay. People are attracted to confidence. People are not so attractive to someone who does not display that they do have confidence. They may lack organization or seem to be confused all the time or just all over the place, disorganized, right? People may like you. They may like you, not to say that, it's a dislike. They like you. Oh, she's such a beautiful person, but she just be all over the place, right? I know you had that conversation with somebody, right? Somebody, sometimes you be in groups and then you have this one friend who's like always late, or this one friend who's always disorganized or just all over the place, right? Then there's a friend that's a hoarder. Like all of us had that one friend. All of us had that one friend where we like, I love you so much, but you just, and sometimes that energy, that weight just weighs you down on your shoulders. Sometimes it's like, and you have to kind of like prepare yourself to be around them. You love them to death, but you have to kind of like hype yourself up, like, oh, we got to go to so-and-so house, or, oh, we got to wait for so-and-so. It's always that one friend. And again, not to take nothing away from them, but it's just who they are. It's like either you love them or you leave them. You know what I'm saying? So another positive aspect of ego is self-care. Me, I'm a self-care junkie. Like, it's all about self-care with me. How I need to make sure everything about me is feeling good, not just good, but great and at peace. Peace and serenity is my thing. My mind, my body, my soul. I need to feel peaceful, free, full of serenity. And it's not just about my mind, it's about my environment as well. Like I want to breathe serenity. I want to breathe peace. And I make sure I balance that out in my life because it helps when I have not so easy days, when my days are very challenging and I could come home and put the key in my door and I know I have walked into my peaceful place. I make sure of that in my life. If I'm having a hard day, I may need to sit down and, pour me a glass of wine and smoke a cigar in my peaceful yard where I have everything lit in candles and I have flowers and just lights and just the comfort of the peacefulness that I bring with the aura that I create for myself. I may want to sit in a tub for a long hour, but I have my music, I have my candles going, and I'm just sinking deep in the water, just putting my head into another stratosphere. I do that for myself. That's self-care for me. And I make sure that I take care of me. Who's best to take care of me but me, right? And not only that, when you take care of yourself, other people see how you take care of yourself and they make sure you have that in your life at all times too. Assertiveness. Now, assertiveness is also ego driven, but it's also on a positive side. Assertiveness goes along with confidence because you have to have confidence to be assertive, right? So some people they don't have assertiveness in them. They kind of lack in that or go they're the ones that go, "Oh, I want to say something to so and so," but when it's time to say something, you don't have nothing to say. Or when it's time for you to speak up for yourself, you're quiet and just shift it to the side, or maybe next time. Everyone does not have the confidence. They may lack a sense of security from being assertive. They may desire to want more, but um, they will step up to the plate and not just desire it, but go get it. So I attach assertiveness to like a go getter, like a shark type of individual, right? So ego is not a bad thing. It's how you are driven in your mindset to deliver who you are as an individual. And it also represents how you love. Now let's take it on a different level. Sometimes, like one a person that I know, I coach, she was extremely upset because she did a favor for someone and that person did not want to return the favor when she asked for the favor. And I let her know, don't get upset. It's okay that they didn't return the favor. You're going to get your blessing, but your blessing may come from another place. It's all having faith in God that God is going to take care of you. He's going to do what he said he's going to do, right? So it's not for you to get upset at people when you do them a solid and they don't return the favor. It's okay. Do not get angry at them because if you stay with favor and faith, because God said he's going to give you favor, if you stay faithful to what God tells you that he gives us promises because we are doing right by him and learning to love genuinely as he would because he gave us love, he gave us power, he gave us authority. We have to recognize that we have such power inside of us to treat ourselves and others accordingly. Now, moving forward with the love that you have in your heart, to get mad at someone because they didn't do you a solid is not of your best interest, because like I said this morning on my post, a quid pro quo way of maneuvering throughout life because you say it's love is not in due season for you, because then you will be moving and operating only on agenda versus true, genuine love. And God is love. God loves us. He teaches us how to love Him, love ourselves, and love our enemies. Now, that's another place that other people are not so there yet, because they hold a grudge, they hold resentment, right? But what happens is that if you don't understand or learn the power of forgiveness, you will have a struggle with loving your enemy. People will say, I forgive you, but I ain't forgetting. But are you really forgiving someone? So when you really forgive someone, you are loving them anyhow. You're doing it anyhow. You don't have to like them, but you're gonna love them, because that's what God wants us to do, to love on one another. You don't have to smiley up in everybody's face, but you don't have to turn your back on them either. You can be in the same room. Y'all can make money together. Y'all can do it for the cause, but everybody go home afterwards. No one's asking you to hug and kiss all night long, but if it's for a cause, come together for the cause and go home. Now, this is another thing people do with ego, because they think it's love. Now, when you in a relationship, right? I got two more, and I know my time is coming to a close. When you in a relationship and you want your lover, just like I explained before, you want your lover to be this type of person to you, or you want him or her to do something, but you want it on your time and the way you want it. And then you get angry again, like I said before, that they didn't do it that way. And then you start cutting things off. Well, I'm not having sex with you for a month because you didn't do this for me. And that's childish, y'all. Or you can't see the kids. And that happens a lot with women, with guys denying them their children because you don't get what you want. You're only hurting the children. You're not hurting him. He went on with his life, right? He went on with his life, done met somebody else, probably done got married and had more kids, and you sitting there still with an attitude. Let all that go, because you only hurting the children. You're not hurting him because he done went on. You hurting the children because you didn't get what you want. That's ego. That's operating out of ego. And this is something else that's really hard for people to step up with. When someone passes away and you get angry at God, that's ego. We are human. God created us. We are here temporary. Our lives are not our own. We are here on a time schedule basis, because today we were born and tomorrow we are dead. You have to value the dash that you have between your born date and your death date. People take people for granted. They take time for granted that you can't get back. They talk to people any kind of way. They treat them any kind of way because they take them for granted. They have no respect, no value, no human decency to even speak, to say hello. Don't get angry. Don't get angry, because our time is limited here on earth. It's up to you to begin to bring value to what human life is and what human life ought to be. It's up to you, not get mad at them. We have to check ourselves all the time to make sure we are good, right? We have to check ourselves. We have to be aware, take self awareness of how our ego can get in the midst of ruining relationships with ourselves and other people, right? We have to have empathy. Empathy on practicing listening, looking, find understanding, compassion. It is crucial to fostering a deep emotional connection with others, especially ourselves. We always take ourselves out of the equation. We have to keep ourselves in the equation. Plus, chin check ourselves when we are not operating out of love, but out of ego and agenda, right? Also, have open communication. Be a good listener. Be a good deliverer of a message, right? Sometimes when we have something to say, we're not clear on what we're saying. Why? Because we don't know what the hell we want. But we want to get mad when people don't do what we want them to do. Do you really know what you want before you open your mouth? Know what you want before you speak. Think about what you're saying before you speak. Stop coming out your face, getting mad, sucking your teeth, cursing people out. For what? What is all this about? Really? Your ego. You didn't get what you want. Stop. Compromise. Let's compromise. Learn how to have a healthy bridge to bridge the gap. Let's sit down and talk about it like adults and stop cursing each other out. Vulnerability. Be vulnerable. Allow yourself to be vulnerable. It's okay not to be okay. But people don't want to do that. Why? Because of ego and pride. Ego and pride. Let me tell y'all something. Ego and pride will ruin all relationships if you don't put that under wraps. Check yourself, like they say, before you wreck yourself. Sit down and allow yourself to have permission to say, okay, I'm not good today. Let somebody help you. Let somebody help you that can help you. Don't allow somebody to try to help you that don't know what they're doing, unless you can explain to them how to handle you. You will get mishandled in the intro. So be vulnerable, but be vulnerable to somebody that's authorized and have the capabilities to do so. Focus on growth. It's time to grow up, people. It is time to grow up. That little kid stuff, there's people out here in their late 50s, 60s still doing dumb stuff as if they were 16. When y'all gonna get it together? When are y'all gonna sit down and have these grown folk conversations and say, okay, let me get my ish together? You playing with people's lives. Don't do that. Remember, finding the right balance between self-respect and humility is the key to nurturing a loving relationship. And start with self. Y'all got to start with self. Stop pointing fingers at other people. Stop mouthing off at the mouth. Sometimes you got to sit down and shut the F up. Yes, I'm saying it. Shut up sometimes. It's not all about you all the time. And if somebody's talking, it's not always about you. Listen. Become a good listener. Y'all, we got to do better. We can have great partnerships with others. Can have great relationships with ourselves, but everything ends and begins with us. My name is Ilyasa Simpson, and I know we can do better. Men and women have issues. We can heal. We can do better. And I challenge everyone. Just to stop and listen to your heart. Listen to your mind. Let your soul become and one with yourself and breathe a little bit. Be vulnerable a little bit more. Don't be embarrassed. We all F up. We all go through changes, and it's okay to have a bad day. But don't get mad at somebody else because they didn't do what you want them to do and be in your box. They can have their own box too. So let me have you share this episode with someone. You can go on YouTube. Please subscribe to YouTube, the Charge Room page. Come see us every Monday at Mindset Mondays, where we sit back and go through skills and strategies to help you do better and be better in this world, because it's hashtag do better season. And I thank you, everyone, for stopping by and giving us some support at the Charge Room. Ilyasa Simpson, have a great, great night.
I wanna get away, but I could use some company.